Hello, Braves country. This is Coach Ken Anderson coming to you for Hardcore Braves, and this is our weekly Coaches Corner. Today is a mailbag open, answering some of y'all's questions. The first question that we had was as far as Swellenbach, Waldrop, and AJ Smith-Shawver, when's the expected comeback? It's an interesting question. Probably in reverse order of that. It should be Waldrop back first, AJ Smith-Shawver, and Swellenbach. The good news is on Swellenbach, the reports he's already, he started throwing, he flew to Boston, light throwing. And so there was some hesitant on what he could get back this year, but I feel good enough to think that all three will be back this year. Now, look, how they perform and when they actually get back is still the main scene. So we're going to have the guys who have been pitching well to keep pitching well as we go forward. Question number two come about the lineup and the lineup construction a little bit and guys that are struggling at the time of this taping. The fact of the matter is, as we said all year long, and I've said all year long, that I don't like the lineup that well against left-handed pitching, and we've happened to run into a lot of good left-handed pitching lately, especially in this Boston Red Sox series. And the fact of the matter is we could really use a right-handed bat. And we all thought that might be Sean Murphy coming back, but Sean is missing so much time, even just with the injuries and stuff. It's hard to expect. So then you think, well, maybe Hassan Kim, and Hassan Kim, and both these guys are not like huge, like upside. They are what they are, but Hassan Kim also has missed a lot of time over the past few years. And I think when you miss a lot of times, it's hard to get your timing down. So I think the Braves are going to have to look outside, and Alex will do that. And but overall, we got to get guys that are in the lineup have normally do well to do well. One is Ronald Acuna Jr. Ronald Acuna Jr. is having a tough time with the fastball, and that's disturbing. First of all, his load is not good right now, and I know Coach Hires and all them are handling it, and his hands are tend to be drifting, and so when you drift and your load's not good, you can't catch up to high heat. Now, like last night showed, you throw him a changeup, and he can hit that. He hit 100 miles an hour on a changeup. I mean, he's still hitting the ball hard when he makes contact. The problem is they're throwing the ball by him. That's why he's striking out more. But Ronnie's been in these funks before and has come out of it. So we just got to hope that he does. The other one is Austin Riley. Austin Riley is filling himself, and what I mean by that is he goes to the iPad too much, is lack of a better word. He's always trying to critique his swing. Well, he knows what his swing is. He needs to be more consistent with that, and drive the ball middle backside. And so Austin gets in his head, in my opinion, too much, and he's always trying to fix things bat by bat. And I don't think that's how you become a good hitter. Take Drake Baldwin from his end, so he's just consistent the whole time. And if he has a bad game, he just washes it off to a bad game and moves on to the next. Now, there's certain hitters like Matt Olson who have a swing that's hard to replicate, so Matt tends to do this drifting up and down. But his is not in his head. To me, I think Austin needs to not look at the iPad, just get back to playing baseball, have some fun, and just try to hit the baseball and stop trying to do too much. I know he hears the noise about being the highest paid Brave and all this stuff like that, but as long as the team wins, I don't care what he does, to be honest with you. Just I want him to go out and have good contact and drive. So that with lineup construction, it makes it difficult for Walt Rice. It's easy when they have a right hander on the mound because you can insert Dom Smith. Money Mike has been crushing it this year. And when Drake Baldwin comes back out, it becomes easy. But against these lefties, it just really comes down to Ronald and Austin get going. As far as Ozzie Albies, who gets a lot of kind of what's he doing? I mean, I've heard 680 fans. Should they drop him in the lineup, whatever? Ozzy's getting paid $7 million a year. I mean, he's giving us everything he can for a second baseman making $7 million a year. So he's a great clubhouse leader. But if we're expecting Ozzie Albies to carry us to a world championship, then we're missing the boat here, guys. I mean, Ozzie, now he shouldn't bat in the top of the lineup. But again, the reason he's batting the top of the lineup is other guys have not performed. As soon as Ronnie and Austin start performing and we get Drake back, I do expect Ozzie to go down in the lineup, especially if Michael keeps hitting. The next question comes as what do we do as far as obtaining that bat, or what are we going to do at the trade deadline? Well, my My theory is that the two guys out there that I would target if I was Alex Anthopoulos would be Byron Buxton and Taylor Ward, and because they're both could be that big right-handed stick. Now, look, here's the problem: is Baltimore is getting back into the race. So if they get back in the race, they're not going to unload Ward, and if and in Boston and Minnesota, they're kind of a funky franchise. So who knows what they're going to do and what they're going to ask for. I do think that Buxton would waive his no trade clause contract. I hate that to the Minnesota Twin podcasters up there. They're saying he wouldn't. He would to Atlanta. But that's, so you have to look at other people out there that you maybe could pick up, and it may have to be somebody that you move to the outfield or move around. So it's going to be interesting. The other two things I think we need another left-handed reliever. Dylan can do, but we could use another one. Those names, of course, will be Aroldis Chapman and people like that. But I like the Miller kid from San Francisco, and I like Matt Strom. So they may be a little bit cheaper. Go that route. And I think we do need another starting pitcher, innings eater, and that would be guys like, Michael Wacha, Seth Lugo, Kansas City struggling. I like Kyle Bradish, but again, Baltimore seems to be getting back into the fight. So, maybe swing for the fences and see if San Francisco wants to rebuild and you go get Logan Webb, who's under a good contract. I don't really like the Joe Ryan anymore as much. I think that Minnesota asks way too much. And the problem here, the trade deadline we're going to get into, from what I hear from some of the reporters across the country, is the Braves' needs are also the Dodgers' needs. The Dodgers need another left-handed reliever. They need another starting pitcher, innings eater, because their starters tend to be injured, and they like to have another right-handed bat put in the outfield. So there'll be a lot of teams looking for the same things. We'll see how the Braves go, but I do think they'll have to add three pieces to actually become a world championship team. Now, the last question is on the assignments. How does that really work? It gets confusing for some fans. Well, when players get released, they're designated for assignment. They have the opportunity to choose free agency or go to Gwinnett. So every time a player gets, they need to kick them off the major league roster. There's all kind of ways to do it. Now, as we know, with Aaron Bummer, they just decided to cut him. And so you can just cut players. You don't have to do anything. When you designate somebody for assignment, they can choose the assignment or they can elect free agency, as we've had players do. And then they can come back and sign with us after no other club does. Sometimes you get designated and people pick you up. There's ways to do that. But as long as a player has options, like Dylan Dodd has options, they can just send him back and forth to Gwinnett all they want to. So they just designate him to Gwinnett. So it really is. I know it gets confusing for some of y'all, but the reason why is there's multiple ways. So the thing to always look with these players is look what they have in their contract. So if they've already been out of options, say take like a more of a veteran player, then they either have to make decisions. They can cut them. They can designate for assignment and hope they make it through waivers and all those things. But they have options. They can just send them back and forth. So that's the reason why going forward, as some of our pitchers get back, as much as we like the young kids, they become in play to go back and forth. That's why you saw J.R. Ritchie go right down. And he probably need to go down anyhow. So I hope that answers your question. That's our mailbag, coaches' questions. Always keep sending them to me, and we'll try to do this every week, or if we don't have another special. We do appreciate you, Hardcore Braves. Make sure you follow us all at Hardcore Braves and all on our other social platforms individually. They do a good job, and we do appreciate all the love that we get. And we love you, Braves country, and y'all have a great day, and let's go win another series in Boston tonight.